Hello, everybody. Just gonna wait for some folks to jump on here. Hi, Isa. Hi, Dora. I'm sorry, everybody. It's my first live. And now I'm having to do this from my mobile device, so bear with me here just a moment. I am so sorry for the issues. Hello. Yay, I did it. Thank you, Dora, Isa, April. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, what a week. And I'm going to find my selfie stick so I can prop my phone up because I don't want to, hold it the whole time. This is going to be a part comedy show as well, just so everybody knows. You're going to watch me fumble through going live for the first time. So how's everybody's week been? I hope it's been filled with ease and grace, and I hope that you're navigating everything like the rock stars you all are. Yeah. It's been an interesting week for sure for me. Excuse me just a moment. I'm going to prop up my phone on my selfie stick here. Okay. Yay! I think this will work now. I hope. Don't fall over. I did it! Yay! I don't have to hold my phone anymore. Yes, yeah, wacky week for sure. The reason why I wanted to jump on here is one, because I've been pushing myself out of my comfort zone in, all areas of life, right? I'm always pushing myself, but I've been wanting to do a live for a while and had all kinds of, reasons, not to. And so today I was like, I'm tired, but I'm gonna just flow with it and push myself. So thank you all for your support, because I just want to say I would not be here without it, and it means the world to me. And so, I know each one of us are flying through our purpose with beauty and grace and ease, but sometimes it does feel very challenging. And so having the support, it means the world. So I'm sending you all so much love. And what I wanted to talk about today is authenticity. And part of authenticity is, kind of fumbling through everything, right? And just being human, and navigating technology and, all the things that we navigate with our human life, but our day to day. But something came up this morning for me, and this is a topic that I actually had recorded some content about, but I didn't like the audio, and I couldn't get it to fix it. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go live today and just share some thoughts. Hopefully I can post this recording. And thank you again to all of you who are up super late too. So, and this is a topic that's near and dear to all of us, I think. and I know some of you are mentioning also being tired as well. By the way, I think that has a lot to do with, and I think we all know this here, but the energies of, we're getting a lot of activity from the sun. We just went through a super moon, lunar eclipse. That always has some interesting energetic experiences for us as well, in different ways. We're all different too. We all experience these things so differently. But and that's beautiful. It's designed that way, and but what I want to talk about is, authenticity, and then how we're transmuting division and polarity. And the reason why this came up this morning, I was actually thinking about some beautiful souls who I am no longer in contact with. And, this was a really big aspect of my journey, because I realized through these experiences with these souls that I'm no longer in contact with, that they definitely contributed to me defining what it was that I wanted to experience from having, friendships and family, and what I wanted to experience in that way, and what was important to me, and how I wanted to have relationships in my life where not and my husband's been an amazing support system, and my father, and so many of you, April, each one of you have had such a huge impact on my journey, and you have no idea, because like I said before, I would not be sitting here speaking my truth if it wasn't for that. And I may get emotional during this discussion, so bear with me here. That's going to be the theme of today's live. Bear with me. But yeah, so back to how this came up this morning, and I was thinking about some of those souls that I'm no longer in contact with, and how that all transpired. And what was so interesting is, I've had these situations come up in my lifetime before where, you think that you can trust somebody, you think that, they're your good friends, you think that they're close to you, and then they show other colors. And usually this happens once, maybe I would share some truths of my own, and I was being myself, or maybe I did something that they didn't like, right? So this all connects together. So that was a lot of why I lost quite a few, quote unquote, right? That is why I lost quite a few of the people in my life that I had, was because, especially 4 years ago, was right around a time, it's been 4.5 years now. And part of my ascension process, my growth journey, whatever label you want to put on it, was to speak my truth. And I started seeing things that I didn't agree with. And I'm not going to say anything specifically, because I think there was a lot going on 4 years ago that I think we can all relate with, right? You get my drift. And so once I started speaking my truth and saying, listen, we've got to stop being in fear. We've got to stop, giving into these fear narratives and all the things that I was sharing. Now, mind you, these were on my social media pages. These were on, I was expressing my truth, right? Freedom of speech. And what's interesting is, and some of these people were so close to me, and people who had thrown baby showers for me, people that I got very close to, that got close to my family. And they all of a sudden just flipped a switch. And because I was categorized as somebody that they felt was maybe extreme, or, didn't fit into what their belief system was, I was cut off from those individuals. And that was very, very, very difficult for me, because one, I always had a hard enough time opening up to people and, sharing my heart. And because I have been hurt so many times, and I know many of us can relate to that, right? When we have a big heart and we have genuine compassion for our fellow human beings, especially friendships and family members and so forth, when that trust is broken, it hurts, right? And that's just part of the human experience. But, I'm so grateful to have that experience now, as much as it hurt to see these people turn on me like this. I mean, I was floored, you guys. I was just like, what is this? Why all of a sudden am I labeled a certain way when, prior to me speaking my truth, I was okay in their book, right? Because, and maybe they thought that I had specific belief systems that aligned with theirs. Maybe they had those impressions of me. And I actually used to put a lot of stock into what others thought of me as well. And I'm transmuting that to just acceptance and love for myself. But I think so many of us on our journeys, of finding our own truth, of this quote unquote ascension journey, the spiritual journey, this healing journey, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you wish to choose for that, we do lose people along the way, and that's a normal part of this process. But it is so freeing, because if you think about all the energies around us that weren't in their authenticity and in integrity, because when you start to be yourself and you start to speak your truth and those people leave, you don't want them around anyway. And it was so interesting that this came up this morning, because I had actually reached out to, it was just it was a professional, so like kind of like a social media platform, but more for professionals, right? And I had reached out and just sent some words of encouragement, and I could feel the energy of just this coldness in response. They didn't have to say anything. I could feel the energy. And I realized that a lot of those same folks that I used to associate with are actually working together and have ideas about me, right? But it was in that moment where, yes, that still hurts, right? But it's just so freeing to get to a space of, you know what? I'm just going to be myself anyway. I'm going to speak my truth anyway. Regardless of, yes, we all have different truths, April. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you all for liking this video too as well. Thank you for just being here. It means the world. And I hope this is vibing with some of you, because this is just, we're human beings, we're social beings, and there's a part of us that does want to be accepted and loved by others, and that's okay, right? It's okay that we want that connection. And for myself, after having so many of these types of experiences with people, I started to kind of pull back and shut myself off from others. So when I met these beautiful souls, who many of them are in the chat here today, and family that are here supporting me, when I accepted that as, okay, it's safe. Yes, finding our tribe. It's safe to be with my tribe. It's safe to be myself with my tribe. That has shifted so much for me, and I had to just have an open heart, and just be me regardless, no matter what I was thinking that other people were thinking about me. I had to just keep going and keep sharing and keep being myself, because we were talking about this in some other spaces recently too. It doesn't matter, what other people, sorry, I'm just turning on my ring light because it's getting dark. It doesn't matter what other people, think of me in general, because their viewpoint, and this goes for any of us, right? Our perspectives of others are based on our own perspectives, right? Like our own experiences. And we all have different perspectives, and sure, we're absolutely intending to be heart-centered and non-judgmental. I definitely am. And I'm very aware of where programs and belief systems come in, and judgments of others can come in, right? And so I shift that, I transmute that. And how I do that is just reminding myself, that every single person, no matter how they're labeled, no matter where they're at in society, no matter what they've done, right? Even those beautiful souls that treated me the way that they did, I'm calling them beautiful souls because that's that's not their true essence at the core of it, right? Like many people are operating from a place of wounding, of fear, and many people judge what they don't understand. And there are a lot of people that don't understand for themselves even. Just it's okay to speak their truth. So when someone else speaks their truth, when someone else shines through in a normal day-to-day situation, right? That can just, whoa, people are like, what is this? I do want to say though, I was talking to April today, we were talking about planting seeds. And I want to say that, us just being ourselves, does plant seeds. And even if people react to it in a way that is judgmental or, not not the most positive, right? But that's still their own experience and that's theirs. That has nothing to do with who we are as human beings, who our soul is. Has nothing to do with us. I can't control how someone else is going to see me. And if I continue to try to do that in any situation or conform, that's suffering for me. That doesn't affect the other person because we're just trying to fit into their box, right? And so they don't care. Like we're the ones that are impacted by not being ourselves authentically. And with everything going on in the US right now, especially, I mean, there's politics and all of that everywhere, right? And so, can't escape it. But it's still interesting to see how divided and polarized a lot of humanity still is. And I was one of those people. I used to be one of those people. I used to have judgment about other people's belief systems. And I am grateful to be on the other side of that now with more awareness and more, hi, Amanda, and more just compassion, because everybody, if you think about it, no matter how someone classifies themselves or what their belief systems are, everybody thinks that their perspective is right. Everybody. So, and when I say everybody thinks their perspective is right, it's like they're just looking through their own lenses, and so it's so interesting to me because you hear and you see these arguments, and especially now with the elections coming up in the US and, this party over here and that party over there, and it's just causing more and more divide and anger. And it's the opposite of what we need to be doing because, we all want the same things. We really do at the core of it. And I feel like a lot of humanity, and before I began thinking for myself, I definitely, wasn't aware of these belief systems, so I would fall into some of these traps. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I learned from being in these traps, of division. I learned from being in these traps of polarity, this is evil or this is, so-and-so is whatever, you guys get the drift. So I just think it's so important that, we just be aware of, sure, we're all going to have differences. We're all going to have differences. We're all going to believe different things. And honestly, and I had a thought today, I was like, I'd be so freaking bored. I would be so bored if everybody believed exactly the way I do about everything. I think it's really interesting to have conversations with people, even though we don't always agree. I think it's really interesting. And it opens my heart to have a conversation with people who don't agree with my perspectives. That, of course, within reason, as long as they're open and kind about it as well and can have compassion about my perspective. And so I'm so grateful to have that awareness, to be open and to be able to hold space in my heart for all belief systems, no matter where we're at, because we have to. Like if we want to shift and continue to shift out of these programs, out of these belief systems that keep ourselves trapped. Division, fear, and giving our power away are the biggest traps out there. And there's so many ways this shows up for us too, and I used to think that, if one person got into power, whatever that looked like, that everything would be solved and things would get better. And I have compassion for myself in that space that I was in, because now I see that I was, I just wanted things to change so badly, and I didn't know that I was part of that change. I didn't know that I had the power to be a part of that change that I want to see. I thought that, somebody else had to do it. I wasn't more powerful. I'm sorry, not more powerful. I wasn't powerful enough. So I want to say each and every one of us have the power to shift, any negative timeline for ourselves into the highest and best timeline. We know that. We're powerful beings. But humanity as a whole being programmed, yes, Dad, absolutely. The system taught us that we had to focus on others to solve things. That is so true. I mean, look at that. Hey, you're not feeling great? Go to a doctor. Hey, you need this? Go here. You need that? Go there. I mean, nowhere have we been taught even emotional intelligence and what it is to listen to our own intuition. What is, the basic fundamentals of what's the difference between fear, being in fear and making decisions out of love, and if we could just teach our children all that. I know many of us here are, so many beautiful conscious parenting is happening out there. But prior to that, it was just more about giving our power away and submitting, and fitting into a box. And so, and I don't think I ever fit in, I'm sure you guys can relate, I just never felt like I fit in with anything. I was picked on. So pretty much every social situation that I've been in, if I didn't conform to those, what was a popular narrative there, then I would be looked at as different, or would have been treated differently. So I'm grateful to be, like I said, in more of a space of authenticity, and that is how we transmute this division. Because if we can be our authentic selves, we also give people, we inspire others, to be themselves and to stand in their authenticity and stand in their power. And saying the unpopular opinions, I just had some of this come up in certain aspects of my life recently, where I was, I was a little worried about, some of the things I shared, and was this person going to react to me negatively? And actually, no, they didn't. I was really shocked. And I think a lot of us are seeing, I think a lot of us are seeing people becoming more and more open, but that starts with us. Each one of us. It starts with each one of us being brave, sharing our truth in whatever way that looks like for you, and because it's not going to be the same for all of us. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's public speaking, maybe it's whatever that is. But also at the same time, not being part of the problem, not perpetuating divide, and just being in our compassion. Because every single, it is my belief system that every single energy out there, every single being, everything that is that ever was or ever is, that is now, is a part of Creator, of God, of Source Creator, whatever label you want to put on that. No matter how ugly it looks, no matter how beautiful it looks, it's all from the same source, I believe. So I really wanted to share that, because I'm also having other conversations with others who, like myself, we make choices or we shift our belief systems, and sometimes people aren't on board with that, and that's okay. if we change who we are, change our actions, our belief systems, our whatever, sometimes not everybody's on board with that. And that it just has to be okay, right? If it's not, it causes us suffering. And yeah, absolutely, April. Doesn't mean you have to get walked all over, standing in your power, respectfully disagreeing. I think that's an excellent point too, because that is an important part of just being a conscious human being. We don't have to be doormats. I know I definitely was one of those that thought that, hey, if I can just get along with everybody, I'll be okay. But that was more of a survival mechanism, I feel, from years and years and years of being, judged and what have you, and not knowing how to stand in my own power. Not knowing how to, I didn't feel safe to, have my own opinions. And yeah, Aria, people are confused when they see an empowered person. It is. It's like, what? What do we do with this? This is a, yeah, it's their, it's their stuff for sure. It's their stuff. It's not something that we can own or take on, and I have respect and love for every belief system out there, because again, we're all doing the best that we can. We really are. And most of us, there are, of course, some that, are purposely trying to inflict harm on others. And that's also coming from trauma and wounding as well. And so in all of these viewpoints and these perspectives and situations, yes, it's some of it's really, really hard to see. Some things are really, really hard to see. Some of the darker aspects of what we're observing out there when it comes to harm to others. And but again, it's like right now I'm just feeling like all I can do is just be the calm in the storm. That's the best thing I can do for myself and others, because if I allow myself to get caught up in, there's so many narratives, there's so many things going on, and at what point are we going to just say, you know what? Wait, if we're the creators of our reality, who's creating this stuff then? Like it just kind of, it's something to think about, who's creating these, World War III narratives, and why? Do we have to repeat all the same wounding all over again to learn? No, we don't. But there's energies that do want us to repeat those same patterns, right? But I do think a lot of it is, it's wounding from other lifetimes. It's experiences too that we've had in this life. And so many souls do not feel safe here, and there's been wounding on this planet for a long time in many ways, so I think some of that is imprinted in us as well, to expect, these doom and gloom narratives, right? But it's also programming, because, and especially if you have loved ones that are watching the news a lot, or, like the mainstream news, I should say, and, getting caught up in that, it's really hard to watch because you see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, yeah. It's just, yeah, it's just really interesting, because I think we're all being challenged right now to just stay calm, be the calm in the storm, not only for ourselves, but others, for our children, if we have families, and, but also standing in our power, not being a doormat, like, April brought up, and not letting other people's perspective of us deter us from reaching our goals, from our dreams, for speaking our truth, because each one of us has a powerful truth. Each one of us does. And each one of us has an important experience. Yeah, Isa, the observer. And each one of us has a piece to this puzzle. There is no one that has everything figured out. No one does. if we in this human body had everything figured out, would we even be, why would we even be here? You know, like, it's just, yeah. So yeah, it's been really interesting. And I know things are getting extra noisy, and yeah, and I get, you know, sometimes it is difficult to be the observer too, Aria, because I get it. I mean, especially if there's, when pain is inflicted on others, you know, especially on innocent children and animals, and yeah, trust me, it is not, it doesn't feel good, you know. And so right now I'm just focusing on, okay, what can I do to be the change that I want to see? What can I do? That's it, you know, because we only have control over our actions, our thoughts. That's it. That's all we have control over, you know. And I do believe we create our reality for sure, but we bump into other realities too for all kinds of reasons. And for whatever reason, each one of us here, we signed up to witness this right now, to be the observer, like many of you have brought up. And I think there's a lot more going on than we realize right now. But yeah, be the man in the mirror. Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, I mean, and then at the end of the day too, it's like, I just want to go to bed knowing that I helped someone or contributed to the greater good somehow. I don't want to be, because my fear and worry, that reverberates, because we're all energetic beings too. You know, so I allow myself to have my feelings because I'm human, right? I do get worried sometimes. I do get fearful because, again, there's that coding, there's that programming in my DNA of, oh, you know, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. You know, what if this? What if that? But it's like, what can I do about any of that? What I can do is focus on now, focus on creating, you know, playing and just being, you know, taking a walk. Like, I've been taking a lot of walks lately. I've been jumping on my trampoline here and there, you know, just playing with my son. Just, well, lately he doesn't want to hang out with me lately. Grandpa's more grandpa's the one he wants to hang out with lately. I try, but you know, just playing, having fun, and yeah, and grounding. That's a really big, thank you for bringing that up, because that is such an important part of it too, you know, in the trees, and so many things around us can help us stay calm, you know, and peaceful. And but it's not to bury our heads in the sand. You know, it's not to just pretend like, oh, nothing's happening. It's like, it's just having a balance, you know, being aware, being the observer, being aware, not getting caught up in that, and being a beacon for others too, because, you know, sorry, I've got fruit flies in here. Yeah, because, you know, if others see us not giving into fear and panic, then that's really, really helpful and beneficial for in general, and that energy reverberates too. So I think that's a lot of what I wanted to say about this, you know, because I'm grateful to have the love and support that I do, but I'm grateful to also have pulled myself out of that division and that polarity. And I see I see the programming now. You know, I see what they're doing. And when I say they, I'm talking about any energy that wishes to, you know, suppress our sovereignty, right? And that could be shadow aspects of ourselves even. You know, it's not just on the outside. These are shadows that we battle within too. Shadows that have been created from trauma, from other lifetimes that we carried over to help us during this time, you know, help us shift this, I should say, because we bring a lot of we bring a lot of baggage sometimes, but there's a purpose for that. so that it can be seen, so it can be felt and transmuted. And, but also, if we can just hold space for, it's okay that other people don't believe the way we do, or I do. It's okay that my neighbor down the street is, maybe stuck in division in different ways, and that's okay. Nothing I can do about that. I can just be myself, show up. And I do believe that, when you're compassionate and you have that energy of oneness, of compassion, of oneness, from a heart-centered space, that does reverberate around us, Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Amanda, moving through that polarity too, being able to be neutral, balanced. Yes, like neutral is such a good word, because it doesn't mean that, I don't give a shit about what's happening. It means that I'm allowing other people to have, yes, thank you, Isa, free will. I'm allowing other people to have their experiences, to have their journeys. Because who's to say that's not exactly what their soul needed? Who's to say that other souls didn't need that soul to have that journey? As destructive as it looks on the outside, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I do know, one of the things I never understood as a child was wars. I never understood. Hi, Yannicka. Thank you for being here. I never understood any of that growing up. I was like, this is stupid. Like, what is the point of all this? And people are dying. And I used to get very emotional about a lot of things, very emotional. And sometimes I still catch myself getting emotional about an external event. And that's okay, because I allow myself to have that compassion and that feeling, but not to get stuck in it, and not to, let it drag me down, quote unquote, at the same time. It is a very fine balancing act, and it's trial, it's error. If that's even I don't think there's any such thing as error, or mistakes. It's just a part of the journey. But yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. And a lot of the narratives happening right now. And, I'm not saying that none of these things are ever going to happen. I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm not shown what's going to happen, what isn't. I'm shown other things when I need to see it, and a lot of it pertains to, my soul journey. And, I just follow my guidance. Yeah, we're pushed to grow because of the division and not resonating with it. Yeah. That's an excellent point, Aria, because and see it, don't live there. Absolutely, Isa. I think I was talking to somebody else about this too. I can't remember who it was, but I'm really, really grateful to have gone through that polarized experience, because I realized how passionate I was about certain things. I realized what was important to me. I mean, I've always known to an extent what's important to me, but there was a passion ignited in me, and that propelled me to where I'm at now. So I have love for all of that and gratitude. So excellent points. You all brought that up. Yeah, looking at the crap and letting it go. Yep. Yeah, Yannicka, there's a lot to look at for sure. And it's these times where I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad. I'm really glad that I do have so much like needing my attention right now, because I do know it's really easy for me to get caught in that. And I will admit that, this is part of me being vulnerable. It'd be ridiculous for me to show up here and say, oh, nothing ever affects me. That's bullshit. I'm a human being, like I'd be worried if I didn't have any reactions to some of these things. I would. That's just kind of where I'm at, Yeah, sending love to it, letting it go. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that's just some thoughts that I had. And it was interesting is I want to say too, my journey with part of being a human, absolutely. And I want to say too, like, being human is such a fucking beautiful thing. It really is. We have, it was explained to me a long time ago. There are millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of souls lined up wanting to experience life here. And here we are, we're here now experiencing all of this, all the feelings, all the polarity, all the division, perfectly imperfect. Yes, we're such beautiful beings, and we are such powerful creators too, and I used to actually, I used to have disdain for being a human being, because all I could see was a lot of the destruction and how so much of the life here is treated. And like I said, I would get very, very emotionally caught up in all of that. And over time, especially over the last 4 years, I've learned that actually, no, being a human being is badass. Like, it's an honor, it's a privilege to be here. It is, to be in this body. And I also I feel in my heart, when we're not in this physical body, we miss it. We miss having these physical experiences. We miss food. We miss hugs. We miss, fill in the blank, hanging out with our pets, whatever, having children, those kinds of things, and that's why it is such an honor and a gift to be here in these beautiful bodies right now. I'm so grateful for that. But part of this aspect of me transmuting division and polarity, yeah, t-shirt, being human is badass. I think I'll work on that. Huh, thanks. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I mean, wear it proudly, it is an honor and a gift. It really is. And then many of us are here. Oh, thank you, April. I would love to see it. Many of us have our ancestors also cheering from the sidelines. Our ancestors, probably being parts of us too, other incarnations of ourselves as well. But, they're cheering from the sidelines because they know this is a big job. This is a big job to shift the consciousness of not only ourselves in this human form, but to help the collective too, in whatever way that looks like for us. And each one of us has a different job. Each one of us has a different purpose. And, and I don't know about you guys, and I think you all can agree with me. I don't want to be like anybody else. I just want to do what I came here to do, be in my authenticity, and show up. Show up, and the rest gets figured out, I guess, right? And then to enjoy life on top of this. Like right now, yes, there's a lot going on. There's so much that can really, take the wind out of our sails sometimes, right? Trust me, I mean, I had a week where I was just like, I was pissed, about having to deal with certain structures and programs and being in this reality right now. But it's like, wait a minute, I signed up for this shit. I signed up to transmute this. I signed up to shift this so that, and this is all of you too. This isn't just me, this is everybody. We all fucking signed up to transmute this shit so that our future generations, our children's children's, I meant to say, everybody, that they're not going to have to experience this unless they want to, unless they, as a collective, everybody decides to create this type of, I hope not, you guys. But anyway, but that's the beauty of it, right? Like, we're experiencing polarity, we're experiencing what division feels like so that we can come back together. And because I've experienced division and polarity, I know how good it feels now to be in a neutral, loving, compassionate space. And there are times where I struggle to be compassionate because I am a human being too. There's times where I don't want to be, you know. And but that's just from a place of wounding, right? That just comes from wanting to protect oneself or something like that. So it's okay. Like, it's all beautiful. It's all okay. What matters is what we do with it, what we do with all these complex situations. And, I think a lot of us are being tested. Yeah, you said we're never alone. And all of these these beautiful spaces that I'm a part of, I'm so grateful for, because I see you know, how beautiful and how much quicker we can thrive if we just come together, and yeah, giving grace to ourselves, being human. Yeah, give ourselves a break. This shit is not easy. But I do also know many of us as souls like a challenge. And so because it wasn't easy, we raised our hand. Just FYI, I do believe that. I know that was the truth. That's the case for me as well. So apparently I don't like being bored. I don't know. But yeah, and I want to also just mention too, part of my journey has been, with the dragons and all the aspects that the dragon heart encompasses, right? And the pure dragon heart. And I was thinking today, I'm like, the reason why I'm in this space now is because of that connection. And so I was feeling like I wanted to pull some cards from the dragons, and see what they have to say, if there's any messages they want to share about this topic, about how do we stay in a compassionate, loving space, while all of this polarity and this division is going on around us. How do we do that? What do you guys, what do you want to say to everybody? And they just, this has helped me massively in my journey, and being the observer for sure. Absolutely. All right. Any messages for everybody? This topic. How can we stay more unified, be more compassionate, stay in our truth? Oh. Any other messages? Yep. They always have a lot to say, as you all know. One more. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. First card popped out, Earth Dragon. Earth Dragon. I'm just going to read what this card says for anybody that can't see the print here. It says, clears your path and the land around you. Stay grounded. Be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You can move forward in life. So, April brought up grounding earlier. That is so perfect that this card came out. I've got my Earth Dragon with us today too, in physical form there. But also I did feel them before I sat down to do this, because I did need some help grounding, especially lately. Yep, just breathe, Isa. That's beautiful. Absolutely. Breathing, connecting with the earth around us, below our feet, connecting with our trees, getting outside, being in the sunshine. There's so much beauty everywhere. Today I was seeing dragonflies and butterflies, and I know that they're all stepping forward, to bring us some joy. Hummingbirds, I mean, all kinds of things have been coming in, to help me, keep my spirits high. And I'm so grateful. And this Earth Dragon energy also, we can clear the path ahead for ourselves, by being grounded, by being in our center, by, just being that grounded, stable energy, not only for ourselves, like providing stability and groundedness for ourselves, but also for others. Everybody needs that right now. in one form or fashion, you know, and I think that if we can do that, that's going to help also stabilize energies right now as much as we can. Of course, there's free will. Everybody's got a choice. They can either accept that help or not. But I think us just, you know, just being yourself, being that grounded, stable force, you know, that's going to really go far. Thank you, Dora. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's so late. Sending you love. Thank you. The next card I pulled was, actually the next one was this orange gold dragon from Arcturus. This is one of my favorite cards. So it says, opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. Carry the energy of the future. Be a guiding light. Which is exactly what we've been talking about. Being that beacon, being that guiding light, being the change that we want to see. And honestly, this is just our natural state anyway. You know, and we come here with so many gifts and so many remembrances. And I think for a lot of us, we're unlocking more and more and more of that within our own truth, within ourselves. And it's not going to look like everybody else's. You know, part of being compassionate and being in a neutral space, I think, is also just having the acceptance and the love for ourselves and knowing that we're going to bring forward the gifts that we're meant to bring forward. And we're going to share what we're meant to share, you know, within, of course, like, again, we've got free will, but even just being ourselves, that makes a huge impact right now, believe it or not. So be a guiding light, carry the energy of the future. And then also I'm hearing, like, hold the vision of the future. You know, don't lose sight of that right now. Just hold that strong, like, in your heart. And one of the most powerful things you can do, this is called scripting. I was just talking to April about that. Yes, law of attraction, Isa. Scripting is when, if you haven't heard of it, you write down what you wish to create and in present tense. And in doing so, you're also feeling the feelings of that experience, you know, so we can do this for the collective, for what we wish to see, you know, across the world. Even this isn't just for us. We can do this for the collective too. And that's a beautiful gift, you know. So lots of things we can do right now. There's no such thing as powerlessness for ourselves. You know, we can be the change. And no matter how small you think that is, it still makes a difference, you know. So don't discredit yourself. Don't discredit your abilities. Don't discredit your heart and who you are, your uniqueness. Okay, the last one is the orange dragon. Bring soul families and communities together. Spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. I mean, just reiterating exactly what we were talking about, you know. And I mean, I'm just seeing, like, little acts of kindness too are going to go a long way right now. They're going to go a long way. Even just holding the door open for someone, smiling. Yeah, you can't make it up. Absolutely. You know, smiling, bringing people together, whatever way that looks. You know, whatever your heart's calling you to do, to be that bridge. That's the word that comes to mind. Be the bridge. And let's look for our similarities. You know, let's be aware of the differences, but how about we look for more similarities and what really matters to each other at the core of it, you know. And like I said earlier, we all want the same things: peace, prosperity, good health. You know, we want everybody to have clean water, good food, access to plenty of food, abundance. Yeah, let your true self shine through. Absolutely. You know, like, we all want so much of the same things, and maybe our vision of heaven looks different from others, and it's meant to. You know, we're not all meant to create the same things, right? Because we all have specific missions and purposes and things that bring us joy that are different than others. But You know, I think that's just where we stay focused, you know, and transmute this division and polarity. And it's okay to be aware of it though. You know, let's not, hi Way Raven, thank you for being here. It's okay to be aware of it, and it's okay to observe it. It's okay, you know, but it's when, you know, when we start trying to change other people's minds. No, it has to be this way, or, you know, and trust me, sometimes I get caught in that myself, you know, in having conversations, and I just have to realize that it's okay that I see things a different way, you know. That's okay. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see, is there anything else I want to share about this? Is there any other messages? No. I guess I've said everything. Oh, it was 55555 just a second ago. Thank you so much, you all, for being here. This was fun. I really enjoyed it, other than the technical difficulties today. I wish you were all on here with me, you know, so I could see your faces, but I definitely am so grateful for each one of you, you know, and helping me spread my wings. And I will continue to do the same for everybody, you know, and support you all and support everybody where I can. And but also it's important, you know, we support ourselves too. Let's not forget, you know, we've got to fill up our cups so that we can be the calm. You know, if we're fried, if our nervous system's fried, if we're stressed, if we're not getting enough sleep or moving our body enough or whatever, fill in the blank. You know, there's lots of ways for self-care, but that's a really important thing too, I feel. And that's what's getting me through a lot of things. And acceptance, you know, being okay with where things are at now, because they just are. So thank you. Yes, growing pains. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of growing pains. And it's funny because I don't know about you all. One last thing is when things are really calm, I enjoy it. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this, you know, right now, because I soak it up every time I have a huge burst of energy or like this. I push myself to go live, you know, stuff like that. I'm always glad that I do take advantage of those times, because there are other times where we're just tired. We're just, you know, I don't think we're supposed to be flying high, you know, high vibing all the time. Like, I love how it's been brought forward. You know, actually, I was talking to Joanne about this the other day, is, you know, it's okay that we're not, you know, we don't have to vibe high all the time. Like, it's okay to be sad, or it's okay, you know, all these beautiful emotions that make us human, you know? So I think that's all I have to say tonight. And I'm going to recharge too, Isa. I need it. I'm actually really, I'm actually kind of wired from talking, because I'm all energized right now, which I love, because earlier today I was really tired and just flat and not feeling very good. And now, you know, it's how you know you're doing what you love, is when you're so energized by it. You know, it brings you joy. Because I love this, and I love you all. And thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with my technical difficulties. And I'm going to do some more lives here in the future. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see all of your faces here soon too. I know we've got some stuff coming up, and so yeah, again, thank you. And to everybody who watches the replay, or anybody who's not familiar with who I am, I offer healing and coaching services, energetic healing services, coaching services. You can go to my website. It's on my YouTube page. And definitely, if you're not sure what type of service you're looking for, feel free to book a free consultation with me. And you know, there's so many opportunities. We're being given lots of opportunities to heal, and it's such a gift. And I'm grateful to to still be here with all of you. So I love you all. Have a beautiful evening wherever you are. And I'm sending you a huge hug and a dragon wing hug. Bye, everybody. Love you. Thank you.